Okay, tonight is the 17th of Tammuz. That means it's a fast day that only starts tomorrow morning, but the date of 17 Tammuz is tonight. And it's a practice at KI at our shul to, a lot of people observe the yard site for Holocaust victims on a fast day because they don't necessarily know the date their loved one was killed. And so they might observe it on the fast day, which is the tragic day, which is in the season in which they know they might have been killed. So there are a lot of names on the list for tonight that are Holocaust victims, and especially extra somber reading of the names on such an occasion. So the art sites that are observed tonight: Albert Bassin, Bertha Bassin, Estrina Fena, Miriam Garon, Glenn Goldstein, Shimon Greenberg, Shmuel Greenberg, Sarah Huntman, Morris Cross, Dorothy Lipkin, Joseph Maislish, Joanne Pack, Chana Shilen, Gittel Schwenzewski, Hannah Schwenzewski, Barney Tanhoff, Israel Umnitzev, Jacob Umnitzev, Rachel Umnitzev, Brina Zelmanovich, Bronya Zelmanovich, Isaac Zelmanovich, Mendel Zelmanovich, Rachel Zelmanovich, Rivka Zelmanovich, Yechiel Zelmanovich. In memory of them all, you see how many members of the same family, and that's, of course, the weight of the Holocaust, as well as some those names are people who actually did pass on the date of 17 Tammuz, but our study of Torah is in memory and in honor of them all. So, Pirkei Avot, chapter 4, Mishnah 20. Elisha ben Avuya Omer, Halomed Yaled Lamahu Dome, Lidio Ksuva al Niar Chadash, Halomed Zaken Lamahu Dome, Lidio Ksuva al Niar Machuk. Elisha ben Avuya said, "He who learns as a child, what is he like? Like ink written on new paper. And he who learns as an old man, what is he like? Like ink written on blotted paper." So, Elisha ben Avuya, this is actually kind of tragic. Sometimes it helps to know the backstory of the biography of the person speaking. Elisha ben Avuya was a great scholar who became an apikoros, who became a heretic. He left religion for whatever reason. He lost his faith in God, and the rabbi started to refer to him as Acher, which just means the other one. They didn't even want to say his name. Um, the Kahati quotes the Jerusalem Talmud that says his great student, Rabbi Meir, was witness to him repenting on his deathbed, so perhaps his end was good. But there's a beautiful book, As a Driven Leaf, by Rabbi Milton Steinberg, who was a great rabbi in, I think, the mid 20th century or so, and a few decades ago. And the book is like an attempt at a biography of Elisha ben Avuya, sort of a sympathetic biography of why he went off the path and getting into his head, which is very apropos for our times, right? When so many people are non-believers, this Elisha ben Avuya has become a sort of sympathetic figure in that sense, someone struggling with faith. But it's kind of tragic because here you can see the seeds of his cynicism, perhaps. I think Steinberg makes that point in his book. He who learns as a child, it's like ink written on a new paper. But when you get old, it's like blotted paper. So he said this statement even before he left the fold, but he's already saying, well, when you learn when you're old, it's like blotted paper. It doesn't stick as much. It's not like youth. So perhaps you can see him already getting a little bit cynical. Interesting. So then the next part of the Mishnah, Rabbi Yossi bar Yehuda ish kfar habavli omer halomed min haktanim l'mahu dome la'ochel anavim kehos v'shose yayin migito v'halomed min asakenim l'mahu dome la'ochel anavim b'shulos v'shose yayin yashan. Rabbi Yossi bar Yehuda of Kfar Habavli said, "He who learns from the young, what is he like? Like one who eats unripe grapes and drinks wine from his winepress. And he who learns from the aged, what is he like? Like one who eats ripe grapes and drinks old wine." So this is sort of a counterpoint to Elisha ben Avuya. You think you'll retain things better when you're young, and an old man doesn't retain what he learns. When it comes to learning from someone, Rabbi Yossi bar Yehuda is saying the opposite. Learning from the young is no point in having some young pisher, so to speak, some young whippersnapper teach you what he doesn't have any wisdom. But an old person will have wisdom. So how does he put it? And you have to debate what does young mean in this context. I don't know what the age cutoff for that is, but if you learn from a young teacher, so it's like eating unripe grapes. The grapes aren't ready yet, and it's like drinking wine from the wine press. That means that it hasn't fermented yet. You're drinking the wine before it even fermented. It's like drinking scotch that's supposed to be aged 18 years, and you take it out after 5 years. It's not going to be good. Um, okay, but when you learn from someone who's old, that's like ripe grapes and good fermented wine. A good old wine. Wine gets better with age, right? So that's what he's saying here. Okay, so now you have the sort of third opinion. This is very rabbinic, which is sort of a balance between them. Rabbi Omer al tistakel b'kankan ela b'mashi yeshbo. Yesh kan chadash male yashan, v'yashan shafilu chadash ein bo. So Rabbi said, the rabbi who we refer to we give the honor in the Mishnah as just Rabbi, is the editor of the Mishnah, Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi, Rabbi Judah the Prince, 2nd century of the Common Era. So he says, Rabbi said, do not look at the jar, but at what is in it. There are new jars that are full of old wine, and old jars which do not even contain new wine. So he has the last word. He says, stop arguing over who's better, older, younger. Let it be a meritocracy. Some don't judge a book by its cover. Don't judge a wine by its jar. Maybe an old man, it can be an old jar, but there's nothing inside him because he hasn't accumulated much wisdom. And then you could see a young jar which has aged wine in it, meaning a young man who is actually wise beyond his years. And as a relatively young man myself still, I think I appreciate that lesson, right? That everyone has their own wisdom on their own level and doesn't have to relate necessarily to age. But I always say the truth is somewhere in between. So I would say, as a default, we definitely respect those who are older as by default having more wisdom, but you shouldn't see it as black and white. Okay, so with that, we'll say the El Male once again. Many names of Holocaust victims for tonight. El Male Rachamim Shochein Bamirom Im Hamitzei Menucha Nechon Al Kanfei HaShechina B'Malos Kedoshim B'Tahorim Kazar Harakia Mazhirim Es Nishmos Kol Askaros Shel Halayla Shel Chuli Olamam Ba'avur Shemispalim Bad Haskaras Nishmasam B'Gan Eden Tei Menuchasam L'chein Bal Harachamim Yastireim B'Seiser Kenefav Liolamim B'Yitzror B'Tzorachayim Es Nishmasam Adonai Hu Nachlasam Yanuchu B'Shalom Mishkvasam V'Nomar Amen. And in English, O God, full of mercy, dwells on high, grant proper rest on the wings of the divine presence, in the lofty levels of the holy and pure, who shine like the glow of the firmament, for the souls of Albert Bassin, Bertha Bassin, Astrina Fena, Miriam Garon, Glenn Goldstein, Shimon Greenberg, Shmuel Greenberg, Sarah Huntman, Morris Cross, Dorothy Lipkin, Joseph Maislish, Joanne Pack, Chana Shilen, Kittel Schwenzuski, Hannah Schwenzuski, Barney Tanhoff, Israel Umnitzev, Jacob Umnitzev, Rachel Umnitzev, Brina Zelmanovich, Bronya Zelmanovich, Isaac Zelmanovich, Mendel Zelmanovich, Rachel Zelmanovich, Rivka Zelmanovich, Yechiel Zelmanovich, Hashem Yikom Damam. We say, may God avenge the blood of the martyrs, which means by bringing the perpetrators to justice. There aren't so many perpetrators around of the Holocaust anymore, thank God, but to the extent that they are, that's what we traditionally say. In whose memory we study and pray, may their resting place be in the Garden of Eden, therefore may the Master of Mercy shelter them in the shelter of his wings for eternity. May he bind their soul in the bond of life. Hashem is their heritage, may they rest in peace. And let us say Amen. Just one last word on the fast day tonight, which I didn't mention why it's a fast day. The 17th of Tammuz is the date that the Romans breached the walls of Jerusalem. And 3 weeks later, on Tisha B'Av, the 9th of Av, they destroyed the temple, which was the same date that the temple was destroyed by the Babylonians, the first temple, 500 years earlier. So a date of cosmic bad significance. But starting from tonight till Tisha B'Av is known as the 3 weeks, sort of 3 weeks of national mourning, national sadness. The bookends are both fast days, and the saddest day of the year in 3 weeks, Tisha B'Av. But 9th of Av is also a day of hope, because out of darkness comes, that's the Jewish value, comes hope for the future and for things to get better. Anyway, with that, I will say Amen and good night to all.